Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones setups for today. So we're starting on the daily this morning. This really does not look promising at all. Well, promising for the bulls. Now, we do have some overhead resistance just above us at 38,466, but I'm more interested in the candlestick pattern that was formed yesterday. So below the moving averages at the moment. Although we're in amongst all the moving averages, look at my oscillators, they're starting to roll over. That is a shooting star, hanging man, I don't know what you want to call it, but gap up. They tried to get going, they dropped it, the bulls came back into buy, and that's a classic bull trap. That here you can see below the 150, so essentially the trend is still down, and I can just move this level to the top of this pin bar. See, that's the actual level, 38,413, and oscillators, slight separation. I haven't really rolled over like a daily, but we are bearish on the moving averages. Although we're above them, that is bearish. So I'd want to see a break below and retest, and that's pretty much what that hanging man formation is. So the low of yesterday, 38,235, drop below that, test it, then you're looking for opportunities to the downside. So there is what you can refer to as a flag. So that's kind of the long-term setup here, which does not look promising at all. Well, for the bulls anyway. We do have Amazon results coming out today, and we've got quite a bit of earnings still to come this week, and non-farm payrolls. So we are in amongst the moving averages. So the top and bottom of yesterday is pretty much your lines in the sand. If you do break the upside, I think you're probably going to come and touch the top of this flag, and more than likely, if you do break the downside, you'll find support on the bottom of the flag before either running along the flag for a break or a bounce back up and then coming down to test it again. So yeah, so there are 4 touches on the 8 hour and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decent touches on the 3 hours. So that's a fairly decent flag setup for me. Oscillators all lining up with it as well. The only problem that I have with it is that we are in amongst the moving averages. I would prefer this kind of setup, sort of bumping my head on the moving averages, or proper bump on the 150, not when it's flat like this, when it's pointing down. So this is a ranging, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. We ranged, except for this little squirt late in the session to try and come and close this gap. But from my perspective, or my point of view, that gap is open. I like to see a body close a gap, not just a tail. And that's just based on my back testing and experience. Whenever I look at a gap, you can see there's a gap there. You get a solid body that closes it there. There's another gap there. You get a solid body that comes past to close it. And there was another little gap down here somewhere which is also being closed. So that's that gap is open. This red bar here, see it closed, green bar, so there's a gap there as well. So there's a lot of gaps all the way up, and all these tails is barbed wire. It is confusion. So the only bullish thing here is the fact that we have broken, well, we're above the moving averages. So we got to cross over the moving averages on Friday, and we've maintained that through the day. And then we've got a pin bar or structure here as well. So it's all been maintained. Now the highs of yesterday, and I'm just going to put a zone in for us because that's what we need to pay attention to. Let's get to the 15-minute, and you can see this is not something you want to be trading when we're sideways like this. Typical Monday price action, to be honest. If you look at the 15-minute, we are kind of below the moving averages, and we've got a crossover, but oscillators separated quite widely, so you'd expect a big move up. But as I said, there is an intraday gap there. There is another gap to the downside. So let's try to get these You should see them on your chart. So that is at 38,340. This one is at 38,281, and there's a small one here. There's another one, quite a big one, actual fact, at 38,190. There's another one there, 38,032. And yeah, that's enough for now. But you know, if you go down even lower to your 5 minute, even your 1 minute, you're going to see a whole lot of gaps to the downside. So those gaps are magnets, and in my experience, they do get closed more often than not. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind. So for now, 15-minute chart, we were sideways, tails to the upside, tails to the downside, big move down, buyers came in, and then big move up. We need to break the structure before I have any interest in this. There is a macro or micro level here, which would be of interest to me, 38,311, but I'd want to see us move down, come back and reject that area before looking at it, and the same for this upper end. So I need to see price get above 38,437, come back and test this before looking at anything. I suspect we're probably going to range a little bit longer today. Amazon results is after the bell, so it might be another day of just sitting tight. We do have Eurozone CPI coming out today, and there's a host of other bits of economic data that's coming out as well. So there may be a trigger in there which will get us moving, but I just suspect everybody's just waiting, just sitting back and waiting. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I don't see anything in here worth trading, and high time frames is looking like there is a short setup with a flag, but we need to wait for the flag break before we start chasing that. For me at the moment, you know, which way is the trend? It is flat on the 3 hour, and on the hour it is bullish ever so slightly, but just don't like the setups that we've got from yesterday. So I might prefer break higher, build a base higher, then I'd be looking at my longs. Not really looking to buy off the bottom here because that could be a trap. And then I'm just pointing to the 8 hour pattern, which is a massive flag. Big move down, consolidation flag, another move down. And if you look at that on the daily, it's very visible on the daily and below the moving averages here. So I really do not think we should be even entertaining longs at the moment, and I do not think you should be entertaining shorts until you get a validation of that short, because then it's going to be a similar setup to what you had most of this month. And that's also very important. Last day of the month, what do we have? Nothing really to write home about. Big engulfing bar, and there is a fairly strong trigger target here at, or magnet should I say, which is going to be 36,974, and then below it is even more. And look at my oscillators here. So everything is just saying be very cautious. I don't really want to be trapped trying to buy at the top, because that's going to hurt. Still buy at the bottom, but I'm leaning towards waiting for a break to the downside and then look for the shorts. Anyway, it's sit on hands for me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.